Hey, what's up everybody? This is Unhinged Gaming and I'm coming out with some more fresh high quality content. Today I'd like to welcome you guys to my new series, Weird Games Wednesday, where I'm going to be playing a different weird game every week. Just kind of the weirdest games that I can find on the internet, mainly free because I'm broke, but today we're going to be starting with Cully the Bricklayer. And this game was actually created as part of a game jam, I think is what they're called, where you basically have a ridiculously short amount of time to make a game. This was the 2017 Game Maker Studio Toolkit Jam, I believe. And something interesting about this one is it was actually, so that was 48 hours. You have 48 hours to turn in a game. This one was turned in 17 hours early. So that is pretty impressive, and I'm probably going to be playing a lot of these games because A, they're free, and B, they just tend to be very strange because when you have that short of amount of time to make a game and you want it to stand out, you probably can't make a functioning, great game in that amount of time, so your next best bet is just make it really weird. So the kind of premise of this game, I'm going to stop talking in a second here and actually play it. Also, just FYI, I couldn't get full screen to work, so that's why it looks a little weird. But the whole idea of it is you have 6 arms and you're trying to build a house with mortar and brick. So it's an interesting, weird little game. Sorry, my cat. But yeah, let's get into it. So the whole kind of theme for that game jam was to create a game where each function has a lot of features. So that's kind of what's going on here. So as you can see, you hold Z to stop highlighted arm and release it to cycle through arms. So you have essentially 6 arms and 2 keys that control the whole thing. So it's supposed to be really hard. So I'm just gonna press the any key. So let's see. So that stops it from moving, and then you hit X to move the kind of forearm back and forth, which is definitely a weird kind of set of controls, because what's interesting is if you tap it and then you press it again, it moves it the other direction. So it's a strange little game. And then if you hold Z to hold it still, if you or hold X to no, it's Z. Hold Z to hold it still. Then as soon as you release it, it switches to the next arm. So that's something that's a little interesting about it. But yeah, this is definitely a strange little game, and it is. See, I laid 6 bricks practically by sheer luck. Yeah, so this one didn't actually win anything, but it was in the honorable mentions, and it is a shame that it didn't win anything, because it is a very, very interesting little game. It's definitely different, and the mechanics are cool. As you can see, you can kind of just let it do its own thing, and it will. You can get pretty far in it just by not doing anything. Let's see. Okay, so I need a mortar. The time limit makes it very difficult, and probably the weirdest part of the controls is that you release Z kind of with this instinct of oh, I can just start moving it again once I let it move a little bit, because it's not quite where it needs to be. But nope, you've got to cycle through them all if you want to go to that one again, so you better time it perfectly. Let's see, grab that. Those are just going to go up on their own for the most part. Okay, let's see. So let's lay a brick right there. Hopefully I timed it right. Oh. Or you can kind of try to position them so that when it does just go through its own motion, it does, what you want it to do. The other option is to just move it and never hit Z to stop it. Let's see. Wouldn't it be amazing? Obviously, this is Kali, the, deity. Ooh, new record. Laid 7 bricks. But wouldn't it be amazing if this was a DJ Khalid, and just every time you laid a brick, it just said another one. Another one. By the way, this was made by Dubai, I think. Think that's the name. It's check it out down in the description. You can give it a try for yourself, and you'll see that I'm not lying when I'm talking about how wonky the controls are. But yeah, I definitely do suggest trying it out because it is a very interesting little game. But yeah, Dubai, if you're watching this, which is honestly doubtful, make a game like this, but it's just a six-armed DJ Khaled. And every time you lay a brick, it just says another one, another one. Would absolutely play that. Yeah, but it's pretty impressive what some of these game developers can do with, because some of these game jams, they can be anywhere from like 12 hours to a week. And any one of those numbers, if you have ever tried to make a game, it is almost impossible to make something that's even functional in that amount of time, let alone good. So these are really just impressive games when they actually, this is definitely not the smoothest, greatest game. Like, case in point, you see that little brick do that levitation thing. It's not the greatest, smoothest, most intuitive game I've ever played by any means, but considering it was made in under 48 hours, it was made in just over 24, it's pretty impressive what can be done with that amount of time. Because I have tried to make games, and I sure as hell could not make something like this in however long it took. That would require me to do math, because all I know is that there was turned in 17 hours early. Let's see. Take kind of a lot of concentration, but this is just such, like, it was interesting when I was kind of doing research for this series. I'm just kind of, been on Google finding weird games, and something that came up was game jams. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that those would have a lot of weird games, so I'll look into that. And so that's how I found this one, was just looking at game jams, game jam entries. But this, like, you would be surprised how difficult it actually is to find just like lists of actually weird. I don't know. See, maybe I've just been on the internet for too long, and I've got a different standard for weird than most gamers at this point. But I feel like there were a lot of games that they were kind of weird. Like, one that there was some that were truly weird, and there were some. This is not a good run. That were like, on the weird scale, they were all right. Like, one that came up was Limbo, which is certainly a different game, but it's not. I don't know if I'm just like looking for a different kind of weird, because this is definitely, it's not weird like this is weird. It's just kind of abstract. A lot of these games were more abstract. Like, even I was surprised there was a list that what was it? Journey was on there, I believe. That's that one where you're, and then the other one by the same developer where you're like the leaf or whatever. And those are certainly artistic games, and they're a little bit weird, and this certainly isn't the weirdest game I've ever seen or played. But it definitely is strange. Laying bricks as a deity with 7 arms is definitely one of the more unusual activities I've participated in. But I was just kind of surprised, because like I'm trying to find, and like, definitely comment down below what weird games you want me to play next. But I've certainly found some good ones. I found some. I have a pretty good list. I swear I'd do better if I just let him do his thing. Yeah, in this sort of video talking, because the guy who I can't remember who kind of hosted this game jam, but he posted a video just sort of about, showing off the better entries, and the ones that won and everything. And this was just one of the honorable mentions on that video. He was talking about how it's almost impossible to play with any amount of proficiency, which I am finding to be absolutely true. The controls, again, I strongly advise you check this one out, because the controls are fucking weird. Like, it looks really simple, and like if it were made to be a full game without like the guidelines that were set, then it absolutely would be a simple, if not easy, game to play. But because the whole kind of point was having multiple controls or multiple functions do the same, or multiple things what am I trying to say? One thing have multiple functions, essentially, was kind of the theme of the game jam. And this definitely lives up to that, where it's, you know, there's a lot to be doing with two controls. Like if this were a full game, you know, the kind of sort of simulator that you'd see Markiplier and PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and those guys playing, it would be maybe like you'd actually have 6 different keys, or maybe even 12, and each set of 2 would control the different functions of each arm. And it would be like super complicated because you have so many controls, but it would be, you know, you'd have better control. You wouldn't try to stop an arm, get it into the right position, and then have to correct it a little bit, and therefore in letting go you cycle onto the next arm. I'm not even doing anything. I think part of it too is that there's probably a way to just kind of get every arm into the best position possible for them to collect and lay bricks on their own. Averaging at about 6 bricks. My high score is 7. I'm gonna see if I can beat that. Not sure how much of this I can really play. It's not very much to make a video out of. I'll just put it that way. I've definitely got some other ones coming up that are a lot more, for lack of a better word, entertaining. They have a lot more content to them. And one of the reasons why I started with this one and not one of those is because the nature of those ones, some of them are, I guess you'd say, a bit edgier than this one. This one's pretty innocent and fun, whereas a lot of those are like, you know, there's ones that are borderline gay porn that would certainly be funny, but maybe I don't want to start the series off with. There's ones that are just obnoxious and, you know, should come with their own epilepsy warning. But there's all sorts of fun stuff out there that I could do with this series, that I plan to do with this series. But this seemed like a good kind of place to start because it's not too much. It's a pretty just fun, fairly innocent. Well, I'd say it's pretty innocent, you know. The only thing is that it doesn't have any audio, so I'm probably gonna have to put some music or something. You can't tap it, which is getting aggravating, because if you hit it once, then it goes the other direction, and then you miss your fucking thing over and over and over again. 4 bricks, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Laying bricks and taking names. I lay all the bricks. Don't walk on my keyboard. Sorry, cat's walking on my keyboard. She drives me crazy sometimes. It's one of those things where it's like, she's just in here, just like laying on my bed. I'm like, okay, cool, I don't have to, you're looking all peaceful, I don't have to kick you out to record. And then as soon as I start recording, she's climbing on my lap and walking on my keyboard, and I don't know what to do about it though. Now she's just skulking in the corner. I love how it just says not bad no matter how many you do, just like acknowledging that, like, if you did a good job, it was sheer fucking luck. Like, let's be honest here. You can't get good at this game. You can get pretty lucky. And it's completely randomized too, I think. It seems to be randomized, like, in what position and what way the arms kind of move every time you play again. I might just be imagining things, but it seems like every time I restart, they're like, some of the times it's like you could leave them alone and they'd lay more bricks than I possibly could no matter how hard I try, and then there are other times where they won't even grab anything. Let's see. Not quite. I should have straightened it all the way. It might have been fine. Oh, I should have double tapped that too. All right. Gotta be the best bricklayer in all the land. Say another one. I'm determined. I want that to be a game. Developers out there, I want a game where you're laying bricks as DJ Khaled, and every time you lay one, he just says another one. 6-armed. Like, basically rip off this game. You know, if Dubai isn't gonna do it himself, just rip off this game shamelessly and just put DJ Khaled's face on it. That's what I'm asking for. Make it happen, guys. I will thank you. I will give you verbal appreciation and support. I can't pay you, unfortunately. Let's see. Let's grab this one. Come on. Damn it. God, this game is fucking hard. It is so fucking hard. Please. It's free. was made with Game Maker Studio and like fucking Photoshop so it can run on your toaster. Try this game out so that you can understand my struggle right now. Because I'm sure I look like just an idiot trying to play this thing. Almost got to 8, but it really is just ridiculously hard. And it's not for any particular reason. The controls are just very loose and very wonky. There's like not anything about it that's particularly hard. I want to see if I can lay 10 bricks. That'll be my goal for the video. The mortar kind of just works for itself pretty well. I mean, the bricks do too sometimes. Like that. I mean, I've hardly done anything, and it's already laid 5 bricks essentially on its own. Let's see. Okay, so I can only lay them on this side with this arm. Noted. No, Okay, we're up to 8. Got 3 seconds left to lay 2 more. Okay, we're progressing though. In any other game, I'd think that means, ooh, I'm getting better, but in this game, I think that means, oh, the game decided to be nice to me one time. Because I don't feel like you can get better at this game. I feel like there's, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's like some crazy hardcore MLG, Cully the Bricklayer players out there who are gonna be all pissed at me like, no, you don't understand the pro strats, dude. But let's be honest here. It's just a weird ass fucking game. I do not think that the developer knew what the fuck he was doing with this, other than entering a contest. So I'm gonna start asking the real questions here. Like this, so I think, I wanna say Kelly might be actually a goddess, like in the, I mean, I could be completely wrong, and I don't wanna speak uneducatedly, but I wanna say that Kali is a goddess, a Hindu goddess, if I'm thinking of the right thing, but which makes me feel like this is kind of just a guy. So you know, we can ask the kind of sciencey questions of like, how does his brain take control of 6 arms? Like, does he actually have a more advanced brain function that allows him to control all of these 6 arms separately, or are they just kind of, is it trying to say that he can't control 6 arms at once? He can only control 1 at a time, and the rest are kind of just flailing around. And he has really loose control as well over his 6 arms, over the 1 arm at a time. It's really weird. If he doesn't think in the right order, then it doesn't do what he's trying to do. And he'll constantly think that he's moving 1 arm when it actually is moving another arm. And he can't tell the difference because they're all moving. This is all just actually a huge metaphor for, what it would be like to have 6 arms. Not really a metaphor at all. It's basically just a game about having 6 arms. So that's not very metaphorical. That'd be a terrible metaphor. Be basically just like, it'd be like if you were to try to make a metaphor about some guy going through a breakup, and you're like, well, sometimes in life you go through a breakup. I know that was a very deep metaphor, but sometimes in life your car gets stolen, and it's literally just someone's car got stolen. Well, man, sometimes in life some asshole steals your car. He's like, yes, some asshole stole my car. What are you getting at here? You know what? He's kind of just doing some work. I don't know if, well, I do want to interfere, because I want to actually play the game and not just watch 6 arms flailing around. These bricks is getting laid. This bricks is getting laid tonight. I lay all the bricks. I lay them. Ow! Let's do this. So fucking hyped about laying bricks, dude. Never thought that laying bricks could ever be so fucking fun. In case you haven't noticed, I'm really stretching for things to commentate about this game at this point. This is YouTube content in 2016, everybody, or 2017. I can't even remember what fucking year it is. That's how bad this is. Let's see, take control of this, stretch it out, plop it on there. I'm actually surprised I've been playing this for almost 30 minutes. I didn't expect this video to last the length of most of my videos. I really wish full screen worked. You hit F for full screen and it just goes black. Now go out of full screen, there we go. Can we also just take a moment to appreciate this guy's like unlimited rotation at the elbow, where it's just like can just go around and around and around. Yeah, I'm definitely running out of things to say. It's gotta end soon. It's time to stop. I don't want to lay bricks anymore. Been laying bricks my whole life. I'm tired of laying bricks. Let's just say I'm just taking my hands off the controls right now. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what it does on its own for a minute. It's doing a pretty decent job. It's laid 3 bricks already. What are the chances that if I just started it and then left it enough times that it would reach my goal? Because already it's gotten pretty close to my record. So here, I did do a little bit that time, so I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just taking my hands off the controls from the beginning. Let's see what it does. I'm really curious to see if this game plays itself, because it seems like it might. See, that one shoulda laid. There we go. See, some of these, which I'm not getting nitpicky here, because this game was made in under 20, or just over 24 hours. Was made in what, like 20, well, I guess like 31 hours it would have been, I think, if I did the math right. So no nitpicks. Just saying, the detection of when a brick should be laid is a little off. Okay, so it gets to 5 on its own. So that means every time it's at like 2 or 3 or something like that, I'm actually playing the game worse than the game plays itself, which is a little wow. That's the first game that plays itself better than you can play it. You got a higher score just taking your hands off the keyboard. Let's see. I just make that straight, and then I'm just gonna move on to a different one. Okay. Really awkwardly bent elbows. That's great. It's not at all weird. All right, let's see. How are we doing for time? Okay. So we'll call it a video. So anyway, guys, this was Weird Games Wednesday. Today I played Khalid the Bricklayer. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can let me know in the comments down below, and also by hitting that like and the subscribe button, and make sure to hit that notification bell so that YouTube will actually let you know when I upload, instead of it just being, you know, a glorified bookmarks bar or whatever. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter at UnhingedTweetYT, where I post video updates and let you guys know when I go live on Twitch, which is UnhingedGaming YT. All of the links are down in the description. Make sure to go check them out. And, you know, let me know what kind of weird games you want me to play next. I've definitely got a list, but I would appreciate any suggestions. But in the meantime, I've been Unhinged Gaming, and I will see you next time.